WikiLeaks publishing what it claims are documents from the CIA, apparently the largest intelligence publication in history.
These documents show, if in fact they are authentic, are some of the more intimate details of the CIA's cyber espionage effort. It talks about the agency's global covert hacking program. WikiLeaks says included malware and the ability to hack into smartphones, even smart TVs. It went on to say that a source that provided these documents was concerned of the CIA's hacking capabilities, and it exceeded its mandated powers and perhaps exceeded public oversight.
Welcome to my chambers. When judges join the judiciary, they take an oath to uphold the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Their job as federal judges is to determine if a statute, either by the way it's written or the manner of its enforcement, is conflicting with the Constitution. And if it is their duty to invalidate the statute or to stop the enforcement. Judge Kavanaugh, as a federal appellate judge, ruled that the Constitution somehow permits warrantless spying on every mobile device and laptop and desktop in the United States of America. This is contrary to the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, says the government can only surveil you if it has a warrant, and a warrant can only be obtained from the federal judge. And a federal judge can only issue a warrant based upon probable cause of crime. Judge Kavanaugh ruled that there's an exception to the Fourth Amendment if the government wants intelligence information rather than criminal evidence. So he ruled that if the government wants to look at your personal, political, financial, legal, even intimate information or data on your computer, it can do so without a warrant if its purpose is to obtain intelligence. This intelligence exception to the Fourth Amendment exists only in Judge Kavanaugh's mind. It does not exist in the Fourth Amendment.
Ongoing NSA revelations yield more information about the government's secret spying program. His name is Russell Tice, and he served 20 years within various government intelligence agencies, including the NSA. 2005, Tice blew the whistle on the NSA engaging in unlawful and unconstitutional surveillance of American citizens. What did you see that made you come out and blow the whistle initially?
Well, the first thing I saw was, I'm a satellite system specialist, so with the things that I was doing with satellites, I found out sort of inadvertently that American citizens were being spied upon by our space capabilities. So,
you've alleged that the NSA abuses go far beyond what people are even talking about right now. How far does it go, Russ?
Well, it goes very far, because initially what I saw was they were targeting news organizations. They were targeting U.S. companies that did international business. They were looking at financial institutions. But they were also going after the State Department and Secretary of State Colin Powell at the time. And they were going after high-ranking military generals. And that was just with my space capabilities that I saw. Now later, when I got together with colleagues and we started to put together the terrestrial side, that's the side that is being done with all those nodes all over the country with the fiber optics and that sort of thing. Then we found out that it got much worse. They went after law firms and lawyers. They went after more generals. General Petraeus was one of the guys. It seemed like right about that 3-star level was they were going after admirals and generals. They went after the Supreme Court, of which I held Judge Alito's paperwork in my hand, numbers associated with Judge Alito that someone had put into the system that NSA used to spy on Judge Alito.
And let's just break this down a little bit, because these are explosive allegations right now that I have not heard anyone talk about before, that there are actually orders that you personally saw in your hands to wiretap Judge Alito, high-ranking intelligence officers, David Petraeus, Barack Obama.
Wannabe Senator Barack Obama. At that time, he wasn't even a senator. He had won his primary in Illinois, and I think maybe the catalyst, and I'm not sure, was the fact that he had just done a big speech at the Democratic convention.
So at any rate, I didn't, when I left NSA, I did that at the end of October 2001 because they started spying on individuals and not groups of bad guys, okay? So that meant they were scooping up everything from everybody in the world.
And you've also said that this is not just in their congressional offices. I mean, we're talking about home surveillance and personal.
Correct. This would be, for a senator or a congressman, it would be personal phone numbers associated, but we would find that it would be associated with family members, especially wives or spouses, you know, the other direction.
I guess the next
Inclusive.
question is, who is administering the surveillance?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. It looked like the plugging in of these phone numbers was being done in the evenings at NSA. So almost it was like being done on the sly, even so that most NSA employees did not know what was going on. Now, a high-level person at NSA told me this was being directed from the Vice President office. That would be Vice President Dick Cheney. Now, I don't know that for sure, but that's what I was told from a very senior person at NSA.
So a high-level Bush administration official. Why was it being done? I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is blackmail.
I don't know the answer to that either.
What do you think? I mean, based on your experience, Russ,
Well,
what could the reason be to be wiretapping and spying on people like Obama, Judge Alito, Petraeus?
I think you hit the word. You know, to me, I don't know for sure, but that would be a means of control. If you were to look and be able to listen to everybody's conversation for years on end, for a period of time, you could probably find out perhaps some salacious information that could be used to control that individual. Now, you know, if say it's the intelligence community, is there some kind of leverage that's being placed on our three branches of government to make sure that the intelligence community gets what they want? In other words, is the intelligence community running this country, not our government?
And I guess that begs the question, is there some sort of shadow government at play? I mean, are we talking about the military-industrial complex here? What do you think? As an insider and through all your research and people that you've talked to, who's running the show here, Russ? Who's running the show here, Russ?
The upper echelon of the intelligence community that is running this show. But what's different about this is this is at the Orwellian scale. This is the everything scale. This isn't just Richard Nixon going after a few, you know, enemies list. This is everybody and everything. NSA is literally tapping every communication, every digital communication in this country. Content, not just the metadata, the content. And when they're saying, well, it's not that far, once again, they are lying. They continue to lie about the full capability. I decided I was going to tell the media that NSA was going after journalists and news organizations, and there seemed to be no interest whatsoever from the media that I was telling that NSA was going after you. There must be some other interest that was making sure the media was not covering this. But now we have the proof that what I've said in the past is true, and they want Snowden bad because he's now codified the truth of what is going on with the National Security Agency. So every means of communication in this country, everything is being watched by the federal government, and that is Orwellian, and that is a trademark of a police state.